So, Sarvash, thanks for giving time, and
Thank you for having me.
it took some time, but thanks, because I wasn't sure you will give time or not. Because someone recommended me, but they were like, they were also not sure if you would come up for the same.
No, I mean, it's great what you're doing, and I was looking forward to it as well.
Thanks. So, I think you have more than 60 years of legacy Dayal Opticals.
Yes. I mean, there's not too much to it. Yeah, my grandfather, like you said, started the company around 60 years ago, more than 60 years ago. He started in 1961. We started in Lajpat Nagar, which is in the heart of Delhi. And he started with one store. When it comes to my father, the first store for him was Khan Market, and that was opened around March 15th, 1999.
I think you just completed 25 years.
We just completed 25 years on 15th of March. And as part of the journey for my dad, he's just always been able, he's got a great eye when it comes to being able to see what's coming ahead, I guess. So he's expanded from one store to 13 stores and exponential expansion. For him, it wasn't about being everywhere very soon. It was a very structured growth where he wanted to be at the right places, and he wanted luxury eyewear to be accessible to every person in Delhi.
I'm sure many people want to know that how did he came across that Khan Market say I want to start?
Right.
Because I am pretty sure I was very young, maybe in school that time, but I'm not sure anyone else would have been keen starting up in Khan Market. But then how was Navneet was able to finalize that this is the first place?
I mean, you are talking about yourself being young. I was just born that year. So I was born in December 98. So it was the same year which I was born practically. I think Khan Market location just beats every other location in Delhi. The fact that it's got a beautiful approach to it. The neighboring markets, they're not too loud, they're not too noisy. I think for him that time, obviously, he opened in a place like Khan Market because of the accessibility, because of the location, and going forward, he just really had a connect with that market. Just the vibe of the market, I feel like it's very electric, and it stuck with him very well. So I think he'll be the best person to tell you exactly why he opened in Khan Market initially, what his thought process was, but definitely the market is very special and very close to him and to me and everyone as well, because today we have 4 stores in Khan Market. So he just saw the opportunity, and like I said, he's been aggressive, but it's still been structured at the same time.
So for Dayal Opticals, what is the biggest USP you see if you compare it with other opticians, and what is one thing which has really helped you to scale?
I mean, the most important thing, this is going a little off topic, I feel the most important thing is understanding your client before you have a USP. So for us, we really focus on the client and exactly what he needs, rather than just focusing on selling a product, because it's very important to understand the client's need. For Dayal Opticals, one of our USPs is definitely selling boutique eyewear brands apart from the fashion house brands, because for us, we don't just believe in selling the product, we believe in we don't believe in just selling a brand, we believe in selling a good product which has great craftsmanship, great designs, and I personally enjoy selling eyewear which I resonate with. So that is definitely a USP for us. We introduce a lot of eyewear brands, boutique eyewear, international brands to India. Apart from that, see, there are a lot of retailers, and we have it's a multi-brand store. We don't make our own products. So it's tough to find a USP for a lot of people, which is what I personally feel. But for us, definitely service, like I said, is very important. We do emphasize on what exactly the client needs, whether it's from our journey to purchasing the product. We do have a team which sort of analyzes exactly what the client needs, and then translating that into sales. For us, it's not just selling a product, it's giving that entire experience. So the customer doesn't take back just a product, he takes back the experience.
And how do you choose which brand you need to do? Because I see you have many brands which are not available everywhere, and if I'm not wrong, you were the first one to introduce those brands in India. So how do you choose? Because Indian market is very different. हर एक का अपना अपना choice होता है. But
Yeah.
then how are you able to decide? Okay, I need to keep this brand, and then you are able to scale it further.
So I mean, the eyewear industry is rapidly growing in India, is what I feel. It's within double digits, I feel now. So, which is very healthy. So, I mean, growing in double digits is extremely healthy, and I feel like people in India have started to truly appreciate eyewear. They don't just want to go after the fashion house brands. They like different colors, different shapes, different materials being used in eyewear. So a lot of it has to do with that. I have to see what probably will end up doing well. You never know what's right and wrong. It's obviously a lot of instinct. But for me, seeing what I don't have in the store, seeing what the client wants, the price point, the material, the craftsmanship, all of that does play a role. But for me, I really enjoy these unique independent brands. Of course, the fashion house brands are the bread and butter for everyone. But these sort of brands, I have a lot of excitement going into exhibitions like Nido, Silmo, and I like interacting with them because for them, their sole purpose is to make eyewear, and it takes a lot of steps to be making one product.
So can you just tell me some of the brand names which you feel are very peculiar and they're very different?
So I mean, like I said, I look at each price segment as well. So starting from around 10-15,000 rupees, we have a product which is by the name of Ghost.
Ghost.
Yeah, that's an Italian brand, all made GAST. So that's a handmade product made in Milan itself, and extremely nice shapes. Their USP is the acetate, the quality of the acetate, and they have nice metal options as well. So that is there. Going a little above, we have brands like Capote. That's a brand born in Ibiza, made in Japan. Price range is around 40 plus, 40 to 50, 55,000. And they have very nice side mesh products, designing. Their lens tints are very nice, very unique. So I really enjoy Capote. I really enjoyed the product when I first saw it. Apart from that, we have new brands like Sato. Sato is again, the founders are French, but all made in Japan, made in the best factories of Japan. The price point is a little steep. It's around 1 lakh. I would say starting from around 90,000 plus, but very good rimless designs, very classy and sort of timeless.
So if you talk about like spectacle lenses, there are many brands. So is there any specific which you guys focus on, or customers are really happy having those brands in terms of lenses and all?
So of course there are many brands that are doing well when it comes to lenses, but for us we've been very good partners for a long time with ZEISS. I personally feel like the technology ZEISS has, the product they have, the innovations they have, every year they have something or the other which is extremely exciting. And like if we're selling a luxury product, even the lens should be able to match that, and that's what the product and the client also needs.
And you are also wearing ZEISS?
I'm wearing ZEISS, yes. Yes.
You outside Delhi NCR, I think the first store which you recently opened up is in Mohali, no?
Yes.
So how is that involved? Punjab is a very different, and मैंने देखा भी है, I've seen that store.
Okay, lovely.
So how is that store doing? Because that mall has came up really well.
The mall is new. It's a friend's mall, and we were in fact the second store to be open when the mall was still sort of under construction. After Marks and Spencer's, it was Dayal Opticals, which was the second store. It's been very positive, and it's been a good surprise for me. I mean, surprise in the sense that it's just been less than a year, and even the mall is still up and coming, I would say, because it's not even been a year. It takes easily 1 to 2 years for anything to sort of establish and for me to be judging it, but I'm really happy with the experience, and Punjab as a market is phenomenal.
Is it more fashion or is it more like independent eyewear brands and all?
It's a little bit of fashion, but we are doing well in the independent space as well. I think people in Punjab end up traveling everywhere as well, and they are very fashion forward. So I really enjoy that, and I enjoy the fact that they appreciate different shapes. They are not always stuck on the fashion house brands. So it's a good combination.
So so let's say if I do a percentage, so will it be like 70% would be like branded? Would be
sort of, yeah, which is pretty healthy.
This is a very common question which I ask everyone, even if I'm not doing these interviews and all. So let's say there is a person who wants to start his own eyewear business.
Yeah.
So should he start in the lower segment or in the middle or in premium? Or I think you would be like a super premium kind of store or a brand.
Right.
So what do you think is easy to do and also profitable? Break even and all, I will not talk about that.
Right.
But still, like, so let's say there is your friend and if he is asking you, मुझे अपना store start करना, so will you say him to enter in the industry and start, or will you give him some other options to do?
I feel like there's no right and wrong in this industry just because I am in the luxury segment. I personally feel like if you want to go for mid segment or a little lower than that, there's no wrong in that because it's not easy. I mean, of course, there are players like Lenskart who have come and are doing extremely phenomenal. So it all depends on understanding the client. You have to understand the client. There is profit in both areas. It's of course a very different model, but there is, when it comes to profit, there is profitability in both. There is good revenue in both as well. So I feel like I personally can't tell you whether you should go to super luxury or mid segment or below that, but you should just understand exactly what your client needs. And yes, definitely I would recommend my friend to enter the eyewear industry because I really enjoy the way it's growing and the stuff which I'm seeing I'm really fascinated by.
So coming back to sunglasses, so there is one specific segment which I've recently seen growing phenomenally, and also companies, different lens brands are also investing a lot on that specific category, which is prescription sunglasses.
Right.
I've seen so many colors coming up,
Yeah.
and mercury coating is coming.
Correct.
पहले भी था. But a lot of brands are putting a lot of money in this specific segment. So why is that happening now and it didn't happen before?
I mean, it's just been 4 to 5 years since I've been in the industry. So for me, yes, definitely it's growing rapidly. I personally feel like, of course, being located in North India, fashion plays a huge role in this, and that really drives the brands to be pushing for something different, even when you see extremely light tints people are wearing in the evening. So I personally feel like people who don't even have a prescription, they enjoy wearing different shapes of sunglasses, they enjoy wearing extremely light tints, be it at an after party late at night or be it just in the evening for a sundowner. So I think the lens companies are now trying to understand that and now trying to cater to those people.
So you also see that this specific segment.
Definitely. I mean, the Sun RX and of course the photochromatic as well, because people are enjoying wearing different colored lenses, which I feel like wasn't the case before. People are enjoying wearing different lenses, different combinations with the metal combination and the lens complementing the frame. So there are a lot of different colors, the gradients and everything. So I personally do agree with you that it's definitely growing and people are really enjoying wearing it.
Recently, we have seen one thing happening, like people have started moving back to acetate. आज से 20 साल पहले होता था.
Right.
Then rimless came in, like you are also wearing it.
Yeah.
So, but now people have started moving back to acetate, thick acetates and all.
Yeah.
Is it like Western culture say copy करके they are trying to do it, or
A little bit, a
they
little
are
bit.
getting influenced from that?
Of course, the Western culture, you do end up seeing a lot of acetate pento shapes, a lot of wayfarers, a lot of boulder shapes as well today.
Right.
But for me, it's very subjective. I personally end up wearing a lot of rimlesses, a lot of thinner frames because I don't want it to be too overpowering. But then again, I do have a few frames which are thick acetate. I do enjoy wearing them out as well. So I personally feel like it's a very subjective choice.
So recently, I've seen many brands coming up online, B2B also, D2C also, and B2C also. So one is Dayal, and
Right.
once I started scrolling, so I saw a lot of ads also coming out on जो pop-ups आते हैं and all that.
Right.
And after seeing your websites, you have lot of collections, super luxury collections also. Like I saw Maybach. There are many other brands, Maybach मुझे याद है. Then there were many other brands which I saw on your website. So when you started it, and how is it going? How do you choose which brand you should put it online? Then everything around it, that your clientage is more metro or tier 2, tier 3, or do you also shift to outside India?
So coming back to when we started it roughly 2 years ago. But around yeah, roughly 2 years ago. Before that, there were a little teething issues, but I started it. I realized very early on that there's never going to be a perfect website you're going to start. So you'd rather start it and understand along the way, because it's very new for me as well. It was a first for me as well. So, in fact, a lot of people I spoke to in the industry had sort of bad experiences. So they advised me not to go ahead with an online space because they said luxury nahi bikega. But I personally feel like if you have not faced a negative experience or a bad experience, then you should not let that influence your decision to start off with. For me, it was a must to have a website when it comes to Dayal Opticals, and in our growth journey, it is very important for me to have that website. And honestly, it's been a very pleasant surprise for me. The industry is doing, like, my online space is doing very well. I feel like the online industry is definitely rapidly booming, especially after COVID, and I feel like we capitalized on that. When it comes to why we are also doing it is because I want luxury eyewear to be accessible to everywhere in India and everyone in India. And obviously, it's not extremely easy and feasible for me to open a physical store everywhere. But giving them that trust that yes, Dayal Opticals has been in the industry for over 60 years. We are the authorized resellers or retailers for majority of the brands. I want that to be accessible to everyone in India. Coming to your point where we cater to metros or tier 2, tier 3 cities, I think it's a good combination of both. Whether it's metros like Bombay, Bangalore, we get good orders from there. And whether it's tier 2, tier 3 cities in the northeast or different areas, we've actually been very surprised to see a lot of orders coming from tier 2, tier 3 cities, because I feel like they can't access Dayal Opticals maybe, or they can't access it within Delhi, but we have the trusted brands online, and we've been there for a while. So you need to create that trust and the credibility, which is what we've done. It's a slow process, but when it comes to the growth, we have, in the last 1 year compared to the year before, we've grown. I think every month we grow at least 20 to 30%, and within a year we grew over 200%. Yeah.
So you are selling more sunglasses there or prescription?
More sunglasses as of now. But we do end up selling contact lenses as well. We do end up selling lenses. We are in fact in talks with ZEISS to put up their products online as well, because we want to partner up with ZEISS itself to put the product so that a customer can get the finished product rather than just getting a frame or a sunglass. So I feel like if they can get it sitting at home, a good branded lens like ZEISS, they've been in the industry for 170 years, so we don't have to talk about their credibility too much, of course. So it's obviously important, if you're selling such an expensive frame, then an expensive lens, which will do justice to how much we're charging, because ZEISS is one of the best when it comes to that. There we end up selling frames as well, not too much prescription. We end up giving the prescription to clients over Delhi, or we end up taking the orders through our email, through our chat box, or when it comes to calls. But definitely want to integrate it. We have contact lenses as well. So I'm just a matter of time before we integrate lenses, and I'm really excited to see that.
And you also face a problem of returns and all, or it's like one ship it can't be returned? How? What's that?
So we do accept exchange within 10 days. We unfortunately don't have a refund. We do have an exchange, which we are happy to do after doing a quality check of the product once it comes back.
Do you get queries?
We do get, but it's less than 3 or 4%. But like I said, why focus on 3 or 4% when you have the 95% to focus on?
And building up your own website has also helped you with stores also, because existing customers
It has,
know
yes.
you have a website and they can order.
Yeah, so a lot of it is tough to track. A lot of it is tough to track because a lot of the conversions end up happening in the store. A lot of the conversions come in the store. I know because I'm on most of the store groups and I'm there actively involved. So I know that the customers do end up coming to the store after inquiring about products which they've seen on our website itself.
Sure,
Brook Carter. Brook Carter.
Brook Carter.
Yeah.
Brook Carter. So, from where you choose that name, and is something special that you sell there, which is different from Dayal Opticals?
So Brook Carter was launched in 2016 in the Chanakya Mall in New Delhi. And when it comes to the name, there's not really any personal reason. It was a name which sort of resonated with us, which we sort of liked. And for Brook Carter, the model is, I would say, a step above Dayal Opticals when it comes to the segment. It's a little more premium. I would call it a little super luxury because the sort of clients we're dealing with, the mall we're in, the brands we are around, it's in the lights like Chanel, Hermes, Louis Vuitton, and 2 years ago we opened another store in Emporio as well. So I personally feel like these two are probably the most premium malls in India. So it's just to be present in these kind of malls where, like I said, they have certain stores which are extremely luxurious.
What's the price which you
So our
kind of forget the brand?
so we have a lot of unique independent eyewear brands there. A lot of the independent eyewear brands, and I would say even we have a lot of fashion house brands, like we have Cartier, we have Maybach, we have Chrome Hearts. We do deal with brands like Prada, Tom Ford, different brands. But when it comes to the independent brands like Anna Karen Carlson, which is one of our best brands when it comes to luxury eyewear. The price range of Anna Karen starts from around 90, but it goes up till around 2 to 2.5 lakhs. They have some extremely amazing models which really stands out, and I personally really love the brand. It's unfortunately only for women, otherwise I would have enjoyed wearing it as well. Brands like Anna Karen, brands like Matsuda, different brands. So I feel like over there the starting price would be roughly around 20,000 rupees, which is the only differentiator. But you do end up getting the same brands which you probably will in Dayal as well. But a lot of unique independent brands. I've just named 5% of the brands over there.
Plan to grow that specific chain also?
Definitely, I feel like the more niche it is, a little tougher to expand everywhere. That's in any industry, but definitely if we find the right place at the right time, I would love to.
So, any other locations you plan to expand outside Delhi and to focus in Delhi?
No, we are definitely. I'm definitely looking to expand outside Delhi NCR right now because I feel we're fortunate enough to be present in majority of the great locations in Delhi, and we are present in 13 locations in Delhi NCR as of today, including Gurgaon. We have a store in Mohali which I opened in August last year, and we are opening another store in Chandigarh as well, which should open end of this month.
That's again in a mall or?
No, that's in an open market. It's in a sector market over there. Yeah.
So, what are your future plans like? In the online space, you plan to go much more aggressive?
We're definitely going aggressive. I mean, by aggressive, we're taking the right path. We want to be catering to everyone in India, and I didn't address your question before. We have catered to people outside India as well.
Yeah.
But of course, our priority is focusing on our own country. It's important to do that, and going forward, I mean, my plans are just to improve the eyewear experience for customers. That whatever we guys can do to improve the eyewear experience for customers, to enhance that, because if you're selling a luxury product above a certain price, then you have to do justice to that. Your stores have to resonate that. Your team has to sort of resonate with that as well, and your team has to do justice to the product you're selling. Thank you.
Thanks for the time. And
Thank you.
Thanks for the
Thank you. Pleasure.
time.